Whew. My nose in the morning. I gotta get rid of all the excess mocals. So anyways, hold on. Last night I was up like up and down watching those videos. Oh my god. Holy crap. Those videos, the live streams from all the different riots, whether it's in my town or in other parts of the United States, because it's the United States that's right now unraveling, but it's supposed to happen. Okay, I'm not really too upset. I mean, I'm upset. It sucks that people are destroying their towns, but like back in 1993 during the Rodney King, riots, it's history loops. Okay, it repeats itself because people don't learn from history, and so it's something that it's like a building, like a cycle of violence. The honeymoon period, then the whole tension building, and then the explosion. Okay, so there's been a lot of tension going on the last how many years? A lot of tension. So, with the whole Jilly Juice stuff, I was using some of the conspiracy world's term about truth and how it passes through 3 stages. And it's true because I was getting ridiculed. I was getting violently opposed in, crazy ways. And then eventually I'm at the point of it's accepted as self-evident. Okay, people are realizing Jilly Juice is the way to go. And so now people are getting that, if you want to actually live and stay living, Jilly Juice is worth considering. Okay, so I've gone through the 3 stages during the Jilly Juice. Right now we are in the violently opposed. There is a truth. What is this truth out there that right now we are in the stage of violent opposition? You all have a truth that you're not willing to accept. Whatever you're resisting, whatever you're trying to fight against, whatever you think you can control, that's totally outside of your sphere of control, your sphere of influence. That is the truth you're not willing to accept. And so at this point, whatever truth that you have, whatever it is, whether it's an anti-vax or you hate the New World Order, I don't care what your truth is. First, it was ridiculed. Oh, yeah, the New World Order. Oh, yeah, this. Oh, yeah, government sucks. This sucks. That sucks. Whatever. So you went through those stages back from 2012 or before that, all the way up to this point. Some of you know who you are. You know what you're activists against. You know that you're against the government. You're anti-government. You're anti-this. You're anti-that. But you were ridiculing all the things that you've been resisting. Talking smack, posting articles, being in the fight the power, beat the system, all that crap, right? So now, the truth is being violently opposed. Okay, you're watching right now the destruction of your community because people cannot accept the things they cannot control. And this reminds me of the whole, Alcoholics Anonymous, where people are like, something, it's the whole anonymous of prayer, and I don't even remember what the whole thing is, but it's knowing the difference of what you can and cannot control. So I kind of changed up a bit and said, okay, truth is when you know what you can control or what you can't control. Truth is realizing what you can't control and what you can control and the wisdom of knowing the difference. So at some point, those that are resisting, whatever it is out there, the anti-government people to the anti-whatever, people who don't like people who are racist, whatever you're resisting, it's still going to happen. It's still going to happen. People are still going to have feelings about each other. You're still going to have a fucking government. Get over it. People are still going to have an opinion about you. People are still going to be ignorant about whatever it is they think about you. I've accepted that. I'm not trying to fight against those that hate me. I don't care. I just try to educate. That's all I try to do, is I try to educate. I don't try to change anybody's minds. But those of you who have not accepted the reality of things that you cannot control, you haven't figured out how to educate people on the things that you do know about. You're only good at saying, don't do this, don't do that, and fight the power, but you are not very good at educating people on who you are and the possibility of humanity. And so now you're going to see people, such as yourself, trying to fight the power, destroying your community and your body, mind, and spirit. Yeah, you could be on J juice, but remember that's speaking out of both sides of your mouth. You're doing J juice and you're resisting and you're violently opposing things that you cannot control. That's why people need to do J juice and stay on it. I don't care if you're doing 9 cups in one sitting, but you're obviously not doing enough to where you realize the difference between what you can control and what you cannot control. And so guess what? There is violent opposition of people who do not know the difference between what they can and cannot control. I was watching an interview last night on this channel 10. The newscasters or whatever, the guys were out there in the streets in Columbus, Ohio, and they were interviewing this young girl. And he's like, why are you out here protesting when you know that they're saying that there's a curfew, that there's this, and why are you out here putting yourself in harm's way where you could possibly get arrested or possibly hurt? Because I want to fight the power. I'm tired of people. I'm tired of all this racism. I'm tired. It's like something's forced me to come out here and fight the power, fight this, fight that. And I want to protect myself, and I want to save my race because it's being destroyed by this. I'm like, you're out here contributing to this violence. In my head, I'm like, you're out here contributing to this violence. You're causing it in a lot of ways because these people were throwing bottles at the police and everything, right? And you're trying to save your race, and yet you don't even know how to save yourself. You put yourself in harm's way. Some of you put yourself in harm's way, and that is to you saving the world. Oh yeah, but some of you absolved your guilt of that by doing the J juice. Sorry, that doesn't absolve your guilt. You're still contributing to the destruction because you're still trying to fight something that you know you cannot control. Well, you don't know it. You don't know the difference between what you can and cannot control. And so at some point, those that are resisting out there are going to have to finally come to terms that it's themselves they have to finally control. They have to take care of themselves. They have to earn the respect that's out there in the community. If your government doesn't respect you, it's because you haven't earned the respect. If people don't respect you, it's because you haven't earned their respect. Just simply being entitled and getting respect and getting a good government that you think you should have, trying to go against the New World Order, sorry, this is here. The New World Order is here. It's on your soil. The New World Order is what happened last night and the last couple of nights. That's the New World Order. It's the waterfalls right now. What's going on out there with all the destruction? No different than when you're doing chili juice and you're, hold on, and you're releasing the excess and you're going through your healing process because of all the PTSD that you've harbored in your body. And it sucks for some of you because you have a lot of PTSD that you have to purge out and then finally regenerate. Well, right now there's a lot of PTSD in the population and they have to burn it all down, burn it out. It's like a chemotherapy out there. What's going on is a chemotherapy, or it's a cannabis, or it's a jelly juice. Whatever it is, it's some type of rebirth. Because from death comes rebirth, whether at the micro level or the macro level. So yes, truth passes through 3 stages, and right now we're in the violently opposed stage. At some point, it'll become self-evident when people finally get tired of resisting. When you finally get tired of resisting, hey, things are going to get easier. But you keep resisting. You keep being an activist. Because I'm like thinking, dude, activism really, this really confirms my whole thing about activism. It's a bunch of bullshit. It really is. Because we've created the people in our government. Every single one of you that has children, you have created that whole mentality of why we have a certain government, of why we have authority, of why we have vaccines, of why we have all these things that we're trying to rail against. We've created it. So the only way you take out the things that you don't like is you recreate your society, but not resist it and not try to change other people's minds when you haven't even changed your body or your mind or your spirit. Some of you are trying to change something and you haven't even changed yourself. You're in the process, yes, but you have no business legislating any kind of morals on other people when you haven't even taken care of your own body, mind, and spirit. What makes you think that you're going to be the one to know what is good for all of society? And I'm watching people on my Facebook going like, oh my God, yeah, the more we burn shit down is the more that they're going to take notice. No, they don't give a shit. You want to burn your Popeyes? You want to go burn your Wendy's? You want to go burn the conveniences that you have come to know and like? Or the Whole Foods or whatever the hell you shop at? If you want to burn down your town, fine. So I guess then, you will be going further somewhere else to go shop for your food. But that's the reality. We're in that violently opposed situation. The truth does pass through 3 stages. And right now we are experiencing the violently opposed. And so knowing what the truth is, knowing what you can and cannot control. And that is what Jilly Juice brings to the table, is for people to finally clear the cobwebs out of their body, mind, and spirit and know the difference between the two. And they stop resisting and they start adapting. Because let me tell you, all the genocides out there in the world, there were people that were strong enough to survive them. If you're not strong enough to survive this type of purge and you can't get past whatever it is you have that's a block, it's your own fault. It's not the government's fault. It's not the guy down the street's fault. It's your own damn fault. Because I'm watching people just having a freaking cow that they can't even go into a store without people attacking them for not wearing a mask. And I'm like, hey, there are some places where they will require you to wear a mask. And there are other places where they don't. Figure out which ones that require a mask, which ones they don't, and shop at the places where you feel comfortable. Period. End of story. People are resisting, like, oh my God, it's a Nazi regime. We're back in Nazi Germany. That's how imbalanced our society is. We take everything to extreme. That's the type of violent opposition in their body, mind, and spirit, that they are resisting things that they cannot fucking control. Or they don't know that they can control their situation. So, I'm not really upset about all this stuff that's going on. I'm not. They won't bring it to their house. But whoever's resisting, the powers that be, are going to bring it to the government and to businesses. But they will never bring it to their actual neighborhood unless it's somebody else's neighborhood. But even then, there'd be a war. But they don't want to do that to their neighbors. What these people are resisting is the government that they've created, and they're resisting, and they don't like, and it's about burning businesses. They don't want to burn their actual home. So whatever, fine. If I have to go further somewhere to get food, I'll do it. If people burn out my whole town except for a few things, I'm strong enough to handle whatever comes our way. Some of you are not strong enough to handle it. Some of you are going to have a hard time adapting to these situations because you are so resistant to everything still. And so activists are going to have the hardest time adapting because they're going to create the world that they don't want to live in. Instead of adapting, activists are going to have a hard time adapting. They're going to have a hard time. They are creating the world they don't want to live in. And that's what's interesting. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy for those that are violently opposing. It really is. I mean, I had to deal with it. Government dealing with it. You can't, what's happened, there could be a person. I heard about that police officer and that guy that died, that they were connected somehow. They worked together. There was something that that they had some kind of connection. Okay? So we don't really know the full story behind those two on what, and so, but everyone's applying their captions to it all, and then that's their reality, and then that's what they're resisting and think that's what everything, no, I mean, it's crazy out there. But you know why? It's because there are a lot of people that do not know the difference between what they can and cannot control. And so, this is a type of purge. And only the strong will survive. So you better be the ones that are strong enough to survive. I mean, some people will destroy their body or take off their nose to spite their face. They hate all of the cancer disease in their body, so they go and take antibiotics that destroy them. That's kind of what's going on right now. People are violently opposing things they cannot control. The truth is, you have a microbiome in your body. You have viruses, you have parasites, you have protozoa, you have proteins, you have bacteria, and you have fungus. And then you have biochemistry of fatty acid, amino acids, prohormones, and minerals. You're taking antibiotics and taking all your little detoxes and pills, powders, and supplements. You are actually destroying, you're taking off your nose to spite your face. You're spending $100 to buy a quarter. That's exactly what's going on right now out there in the community with all of this resistance, as well as what goes on with people who are not doing Jilly Juice, who are still in the holistic allopathic world playing their MLMs and passing out all of their little concoctions and freaking remedies, you're no different than those that are out there burning their town up where they freaking live. You're destroying your bodies out there, taking the antibiotics, even in natural form. It's no different. So all of you peace-loving vegans who are into the holistic world, you're no different than those that are out there throwing firebombs in Popeyes. Same thing, different chemical elemental makeup. So I'm going to sit here and watch the world burn. I will still take care of myself, my dog, my husband. You all can go and destroy yourself, destroy your town, but you can't destroy me. You can't destroy my spirit. And those that are strong will survive. And those that won't, you'll resist until the very end. Until you totally destroy yourself. And so, it is what it is, but this is the world that we live in right now. This is the New World Order. Can you handle it? Stop resisting. Talk to you later. Bye.